Wow, it just dawned on me. We've never seen Charlie Kirk and Erika Kirk's kids, or at least I haven't.
All of you are in my comments section saying that these are not Erika and Charlie Kirk's children. If you didn't see my last post, these are pictures that Erika Kirk sent to Andrew Colvett to prove where she was September 9th.
Could Erika Kirk's throwback post have inadvertently confirmed what observers have been alleging for quite some time? A previously overlooked caption referencing the rental of babies is now being re-examined through an entirely different lens. Some commentators are asserting that this was never simply a casual remark. They're now claiming that Erika may have actually been renting babies and that the children featured across her social media platforms may not be her own. I understand that may sound like an extraordinary claim, but I would encourage you to follow the full thread of this story, because once you see how each element connects, you will understand why this conversation has gained the momentum it has.
Story 3. So we're here at Bill's Burgers in New York City, and right near this very table was the first time Dada met Mama, and it started as a job. And
here is what prompted this discussion. Erika Kirk has recently been observed conducting what many are describing as a comprehensive Instagram purge. Over the course of the past month alone, she quietly removed more than 40 posts from her page. That immediately raised questions, because individuals do not typically erase that volume of content unless they are attempting to get ahead of something. The complication, however, is that the internet has a long memory. Although those posts have been removed, screenshots continue to circulate, and one in particular is what truly ignited this conversation. It is a post dating back to February 2015 in which Erika appears on a television set. In her own caption, she wrote something to the effect of, "The perk of playing a young mom TV role, hourly baby rentals." At the time, that may have read as a lighthearted, behind-the-scenes observation about the acting process. However, given everything else that has since come to light, people are now interpreting that line in an entirely different context. Why phrase it that way? Why use the term renting babies? And perhaps more importantly, why return to that post and delete it now? That is the detail that has people fixated. If it were truly just a harmless joke, why erase it years later at precisely the moment when public scrutiny is already intensifying? And that is where the situation begins to compound, because this single post is not being examined in isolation. It is being connected to a broader body of questions people have been investigating regarding Erika, including her past involvement in the modeling industry, her nonprofit activities in Romania, and the wider conversations that have been circulating online about her personal and professional connections. The deeper people look, the more questions surface. One of the most frequently cited observations is that there are virtually no photographs or video footage of Erika visibly pregnant. There is no clear timeline, no documented journey, and not even a casual clip capturing that stage of her life. In an era when most public figures document nearly every aspect of their personal lives, that absence is conspicuous.
Things couldn't be any more suspicious than they already are. Can anybody tell me why I can't find a picture of Erika Kirk pregnant? None. Not one. Not any in her podcast, not any in an interview. I cannot find one picture of Erika Kirk pregnant.
Now, in fairness, some observers initially suggested that she may have utilized a surrogate, which is an entirely valid and increasingly common choice. However, with the resurfacing of that renting babies caption, the nature of the speculation has shifted significantly. Some are now asking, what if those children were never hers at all? What if what the public has been seeing online was simply part of a carefully curated image? The reason this line of questioning is gaining traction is that when one examines her lifestyle, additional questions naturally arise. Erika is consistently traveling, consistently in the public eye, and consistently moving from one engagement to the next. Interviews, appearances, events, and public functions. So people are asking a very straightforward question. When is she actually with her children? Because raising children demands time, presence, and stability. And from an external perspective, it does not appear that she is decelerating enough to accommodate that. That is precisely why comments, such as the following, have begun to emerge. Erika loves the spotlight too much. These children are not hers. Whether or not that assertion holds any truth is a separate matter entirely, but the fact that individuals feel sufficiently confident to make such claims publicly illustrates just how much doubt has accumulated.
Here is the boy in shorts who is supposed to be 1 year old, and right over here is the 3-year-old daughter, who confirmed their ages. The daughter was born in 2022, the son was born in 2024. I have a 4-year-old and a 1.5-year-old, and this picture does look like two toddlers about age 3 and 4, and to be honest, the son looks older than the daughter in this photo. Taller, bigger in size, those hands are pretty big for a baby.
And the scrutiny does not end there. There's also a clip of Erika discussing her pregnancy that has been replayed extensively, and something about it did not sit right with a number of viewers. In the clip, she states that she went into hiding during her pregnancy because she was, in her words, growing a human inside her.
Be around it. I intentionally, when I was pregnant, hid. Not because I was embarrassed. I was growing a human inside of me. I want to enjoy eating my In-N-Out burger and my hot fudge sundae. That's what I want to do. I'm pregnant and I have 9 months to own it.
When people heard that particular statement, the reaction was telling. Many responded along the lines of, "That sounds remarkably distant." It did not come across as emotional or personal in the way one might reasonably expect from someone reflecting on their own pregnancy. Instead, it registered more as a rehearsed statement. And that added yet another layer to the growing skepticism, because now the conversation is not solely about the absence of pregnancy photographs. It is also about the manner in which she discusses the experience itself. Furthermore, there's the matter of the ultrasound clip that was ostensibly presented as evidence of her pregnancy.
Erika Kirk posted a video, and in it she has a photo of her ultrasound. She's kind of showing her pregnancy, and something that stood out to me was in the top corner, it listed her as Erika Franzve and not Erika Kirk, Franzve being her maiden name.
That particular clip has been dissected extensively, and numerous questions have emerged regarding whether what was depicted is medically consistent. One widely shared comment noted, "You can see the ultrasound and what appears to be a 5 to 6 week old embryo. But positioned right next to the ultrasound is the only instrument capable of capturing that image. Medical professionals cannot visually detect anything from an external scan at that stage of development. At that point, the procedure is conducted internally, which this clearly is not." Another individual added, "I have been pregnant 5 times, 2 babies carried to term. Every single 6-week ultrasound I underwent was transvaginal because at that stage, you simply cannot obtain sufficient imaging through the abdomen." So now, observers are not merely questioning whether she was pregnant. They're questioning whether the evidence itself is consistent with how pregnancy actually works from a medical standpoint. However, there is also a countervailing perspective. Not everyone has arrived at the same conclusion. There are individuals asserting that Erika has indeed been pregnant before, though perhaps not in the way the general public assumes. One comment stated that she was pregnant during her first marriage and that she and her then-husband, Derek Chelsvig, along with a child, were all observed attending a Trump rally in 2015. That introduces an entirely different dimension to the discussion. If accurate, the question evolves. It is no longer simply a matter of whether she was ever pregnant. It becomes a question of who the child was connected to and under what circumstances. Over time, Erika has been publicly called out on more than one occasion. She has been labeled a fabricator by some, a pretender by others, and someone who is meticulously constructing a public image that does not fully correspond with reality. And recently, she found herself squarely in the center of that conversation once again after sharing a vintage interview clip of herself.
Good experience for you or not?
We talked about this. It was one of those moments where I really understood what it meant to just fall to the ground and tear your clothes and just say, I don't want anything to do with this anymore. I don't want the fake, the fame that comes with it. I don't want the pride. Oh my gosh, I don't want the pride.
In that clip, she discussed how she was never truly interested in fame, even during her years in the pageant circuit. She explained that she had deliberately stepped away from that world because she wanted to dedicate herself to something more meaningful. She even composed an extensive caption about leaving that life behind and choosing an alternative path. However, When the public saw that, the response was not what she likely anticipated. From an outside perspective, it appears that she remains very much entrenched in the spotlight. And so people began asking, if you genuinely did not want fame, then why does your entire life still appear to revolve around it? That is where the fundamental disconnect becomes apparent.
I talked to Jeffrey, and I'm going to his house tomorrow morning, and I'm going to take my friend. He's going to set something up for you.
Now, as if the preceding developments were not already substantial enough, a mysterious audio clip began circulating online, and individuals started claiming that the voice heard in the recording belonged to Erika. In the audio, a woman is allegedly heard arranging the involvement of underage girls in connection with Jeffrey Epstein. That is an extraordinarily serious allegation. It spread rapidly across social media platforms. Upon listening to the audio, there are those who contend that the voice bears a resemblance to Erika's. And when that is combined with the deleted posts, the absence of verifiable pregnancy documentation, the high-profile lifestyle, the detached manner in which she discusses motherhood, and her constant presence in the public eye, it creates a cumulative picture in which many people feel that something fundamentally does not add up. And the more content she removes, the more attention it attracts. Because at this point, it no longer resembles someone casually tidying up old social media content. It resembles someone attempting to control what the public is permitted to see, and that dynamic only incentivizes people to investigate further. So the central question now extends far beyond a single post. It is about what else may be sitting in the background, waiting to be uncovered. And if additional pieces of this nature continue to surface, this entire narrative may ultimately look very different from what has been publicly presented.